Every second, every minute, every day, news is breaking, events occur, and there are new developments. At Signature TV, we follow these stories objectively, bringing all sides without bias, explaining the complex issues, breaking down the numbers, and investigating the issues behind the news. Anywhere and everywhere, near or far, wherever the news is, we will be there. Signature TV. News in your pocket.
Welcome back. You're still watching Signature Morning on Signature TV. I hope you enjoyed that conversation from our Abuja studio this morning. Over to you, OJ.
All right, Lillian. Well, we're moving on to another conversation this morning on terrorism and banditry. Now, these two have become, well, two of the most pressing security challenges facing Nigeria today, and that leads us to talk on terrorism and banditry in Nigeria. Now, joining us this morning via Zoom from Birnin Kebbi is Comrade Usman Mohammed Anache. He is the chairman, Grassroots Advocacy for Peace and Good Governance, and is also an international member, World Human Rights and Good Commission, UN. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good morning to you.
Morning. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like you to give us some kind of a background of how would you describe the current scale and nature of terrorism and banditry in Nigeria currently?
The current scale is alarming. It's on the higher side. Because when you look at the country at large, you will discover that almost all the areas in the country were experiencing one type of terrorism or the other, or banditry. Like in the northwest here, we are facing the banditry, kidnapping, and the other form of terrorism. In the northeast, they are being faced with Boko Haram, that are associated with the issue of religious understanding, attacks, and other things. In the central, you will see some issues that have been attached to the tribal issues, some political, and some sort of things like that. It's only in the southwest now that we have a relatively calm in the area, in the southwest, where we have some little sanity, except some little issues that are not always happening in the southwest, where in the northwest before was the most peaceful area in Nigeria. So if you look at the scale of the involvement, you can say that almost every area has one issue or the other. That is to say, is on the large scale. Despite the effort of the security agencies that is ongoing to curtail this type of menace.
Ideological motivations behind these extremist groups, what's the difference between this terrorism and banditry, especially in the Northwest?
The difference between terrorism and this banditry is that in terrorist, they sometimes has some ideology, sometimes religious ideology, sometimes tribal ideology, sometimes regional or ethnicity. But on other terrorism, they have no boundary. They unleash their own mayhem on anybody or anyone and at any time. And in terrorism, most of them, again, they usually do it for financial gain. So the difference is that the terrorists are mostly or mainly concerned with financial aspect or financial gain of the act. But on the other side, they usually concern more with sometimes some belief, whether they are right or wrong. They always wanted their people to join their belief, so that whenever you are not within their own belief or you didn't believe what they believe, they regard you as an enemy. So these are the differences between the two. But always the only common goal they are same is that all of them work havoc on the populace, and all of them kill, all of them destroy life and property. So that is why they are common, but their only differences is that religions, ideology, and the financial again between the two. So the terrorists used to terrorize areas for financial gaining. That is why you see that most of the places where they operate is where we have the natural the mineral resources that they may be extracted from that area, or may they be kidnapping for ransom so that they will have money and a lot of them. So these are some of the little differences between the two of them.
All right, now that you've highlighted the differences, these violent activities are not just confined to one region, because when you were speaking earlier on, you mentioned that these issues are in the Northwest, but they are also in the Northeast, North Central, and even parts of the South as well. So what do you see any regional variations in the patterns of these terrorism and banditry depending on the regions that they operate in? And how would you say that they collectively affect national stability?
You see, there's regional differences, because when you look at the one in the Northwest, majority of those terrorists are Fulanis, or I can say all of them are Fulanis that are either Nigerians and some illegal immigrants from other African countries that were there for a long time. Some of them were being born in that area where they operate. So they were brought up in that area. They know the terrain, they know the people, they know the area, they know everything. So most of them are people mingling with other people. And don't forget, this terrorism is a very serious problem, because it's not a conventional war between the two armies. It's fighting people within your domain who know every side of you, and who claim that they have been cheated for one way or the other, but they are retaliated, which is not a ground for anybody to take arms in his hands or to take some issues personally that you have to solve your problem yourself. So actually, when you look at the scenario of the banditry and how it started, there are so many, you see, allegations, but people that are being recruited are from that area. So because of one reason or the other, some people start joining these groups. Some people start getting some dirty businesses in that area. You know, we are relatively peace in the Northwest. So that is why when this is being recruited, there's a little check on them before they reach where they are today. So this is some of the problems that we have left our own initial traditional ideologies, which before, whenever somebody come into the village or any town, the people within the area he stays must know where he's from, what is his business, what is the purpose of his visit, how long is he going to stay. And so they'll take him to a village head or a hamlet village head or a district head within that domain who will interview him. Then there is somebody who calls Sarkin Baki, that is the chief of the guest, that if that person has no relation within the area, the Sarkin Baki will handle him. So in that case, the traditional institution will be monitoring him, and anything excesses from him that was observed by those traditional institutions, it will be reported to the emir immediately, and the issue will be taken here. But with the emergence of the Western system of rule or democracy and the local government reforms in 1975, the Suki Committee, which transferred the lower power of the local government from the native authority to the local government areas. So all those things were being abandoned. So abandoning those things allow people to make freely, democratically, and other things. So it's one of the reasons that you see that people start doing what they want at any time. But before, the prison is under the emir. The Yari is the chief custodian of the prison. Then the police is under the emir. Wakil Ndoka is the one handling the police. Then the measure for food and other things under the Sai. So all of them, you see so many people that are abandoned, then that are there to safeguard the society's integrity. So with the emergence of this democracy, we started to relax those measures of check and balances, of checking who is there, who is that, who is there, who is where. So most of these things were being caused by this type of issues. And that is why sometimes you see that some of them will even try to not only claim that they are committing the offense, but even claim that they were being they are being cheated or whatever. So not even justifying not even agreeing or guilty of the committing the offense, but even justifying the reason why they are doing it. So these are some of the issues, and these are some of the problems that brought of this type of issues, that some of this thing that escalated to this level.
All right, Mr. Nache, that was well said. But in what ways would you say that this terrorism and banditry undermines national peace, social cohesion and democratic values?
It has destroyed all, because now the movement of people was being hindered. You cannot move freely from one place to another. The values, if you observe, that is why previously the federal government has to import food, because most of this agricultural land that we cultivate were being occupied by these bandits who stop our farmers from going there. The social interaction between people was cut up. The increase in hatred between the House of Fulani and the Fulani, that their name is even always going together. Like whenever you mention Hausa, you still mention Fulani at the same time, as people of like one family. Is now the values has been lost. So Hausa is now looking as Fulani as an enemy, and the Fulani is looking to Hausa as an enemy, just because of the action of few individuals among the Fulani groups. And even if there are some this banditry or kidnapping from any tribe, he will start speaking accent of Fulani, because they are the majority in this act. And you see, some people are capitalizing on the current situation again to create some even family problem, where some people even plan their own kidnapped by themselves so that they can gain something from the family. So you see, socially, it is trying to change the mindset of some young women of getting cheap money by maybe staging a kidnap action or kidnap scenario, or maybe plan a kidnap something to gain some financial benefits from their parents. So you see, it has brought some things that we are not aware of before, and it has created people to be suspicious of one another, people to be living with fear. You see, people now, a village cannot be reached by people who are from that village, and it creates again some kind of lack of trust among the people. And it has created a lot of problems for the country. And economically, it has crippled most of the Bible areas, most of the cash crop production areas, especially in Zamfara, in Southern Sokoto, have been and Katsina, they have been tampered with. So this definitely will affect the national values, and it has portrayed our own country as a terrorist country among the nations in the world, which give us a bad name because of the action of the very few people, you see. And they even make some other section of the country to start regarding the other section as a terrorist. So which is not the ideal and the practice before. So it has destroyed our own values. Only that we have to manage and bring back our actual social values and the country together.
Anache, now some people have given both religious and ethnic profiling to terrorism and banditry. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree. Some will bring the religion. That is why most of the time we even encourage the government to monitor the religion activities, both Islamic and the Christians, because some people have used religion to divert the attention of so many people. We have a lot of problems like that. Even this Boko Haram in the northeast started as a religious problem. You know, the problem is that in 1979, we have similar scenario in Kano under Metes Ine. This Metes Ine has been fought in 1980 by Shagari administration. Then after the displacement of Metes Ine companions, they scattered all over the country after their defeat in Kano. So the ideology of that Metes Ine is still groomed in some of these people. That's why some of his descendants, like that Muhammad Yusuf of Borno, started similar preachings. So the government didn't take it with seriousness. They take it lightly as just as religion. And you know, anything religion, when you touch someone, people start blaming that you have touched their sect, they can die for him, and all that is. So this thing has escalated up to that creation of that Boko Haram. And there are so many things that are inside that Boko Haram, and it has escalated to that level. Just because Muhammad Yusuf is preaching that the Western education is prohibited in Islam, which is not true. So he has some followers. You know, we in Nigeria, we always like something fancy or something that is controversial. So people start following him. So before you know, it has escalated to this level, And later on, we have the emergence of this banditry as a result of Libyan crisis that infiltrated the small arms into West Africa. So from there, so people start this thing. We have this type of issues right from the creation of Nigeria, that we have a little conflict between herders and the farmers. But it is not up to a national level that it should be a national concern. It will be a 1 man or 2 man, then the issue will be settled. Every rainy season will have that little problems. But unfortunately, It has become a something because of the infiltration of arms to non-state actors and illiterate people are now carrying arms. And from there, they start what they are doing. So these are some of the problems. And most of the time, you see that since it is not conventional war, some people within the society are aiding them or informing them of one thing or the other from one village to another, even though they know the terrain, they know the area, as I said earlier. But you will see that some people who are informants will start calling them there where they are. So that is why we want the government to come in fully to see that anybody who make any call to any of these bandits and the number of that bandit be located and the person that called him be interrogated. So these are some of the things that we can come up with the advance of technology. We can avert a lot of dangers using the modern technology today. So I think it's good for the government to use the modern technology, even though I appreciate the effort of the military. Presently, the Nigerian security forces are closing on those people, and the majority of them has been neutralized or killed, and some of them now are on the run. And I encourage the military to continue the campaign.
All right. Part of the issues that made headline today is the massacre of 63 persons in Borno State. How is the northern region taking these killings and massacre?
Well, we take it as a national disaster. We look at it as something that is unwanted. You just meet people, kill them in any name. Even if those people committed an offense, they didn't deserve what was distant on them. They're supposed to be taken to court. Even the innocent people killed by anybody. Look, the problem of killing one person is a very serious issue. So we have to take this killings a very serious matter, and we have to observe this as a national disaster. We in the north and the entire nation is not happy with what is happening. And the end result of this is now telling us that as if something bad that has been passed is now coming. But what I observe on this is that as the army are closing on most of these people, they are now on the run. So they can now use any soft target and hit and run. Some of them will even come in the town searching for food. So that is to tell you that the end day is near for them. So this is some of the issues that the aftermath of any hostilities that will end it, so that people on the run can stop and hit any soft target within their own vicinity and run away. So if this happens, it means we are closing on them, and inshallah, very soon you'll see that those areas will be very peaceful, and that is our own main prayer. And don't forget, Nigerians should work hard and put prayer ahead. They should not hate each other because of the action of very few stupid people among us. So the action of the few should not affect the larger society. So the cooperation should be there, the harmonization should be there. All those things are trials, and inshallah, they will be one of the time they will come and pass. We are even being under colonial masters before, and we gain our independence. So anything that you see has a starting point will have an ending point by the grace of God. So let us pray and work hard to see that we end this. And those who are responsible for the authority, so come in, and the people should cooperate with their authorities to see that this has come to an end where people can move into any part of Nigeria freely and transact their businesses freely.
Mr. Anache, you've mentioned about the security and how they are doing their best, but it seems as if their best has yielded limited results so far. And while many right-thinking Nigerians are talking about peace building, these killings and these terrorist attacks still persist. For how long do you think that Nigerians can sit down and wait? I mean, we've heard suggestions of self-defense at some point. So what's your take on that?
You see, there's a recent order by the Chief of Army Staff, General Christopher Musa, who gave the order of not army waiting for the order before they open fire. Well, unlike before, when the military has to wait for order from above, now he gives them a blank order. And by grace of God, you will see the changing very soon, inshallah. This thing, we don't expect it to take long because of this order and this action of the army chief. We know that this is what we are waiting for, and this is what the men and the officers of the Nigerian army are waiting for, and they have gained the blank order, and they will soon, inshallah, see very soon this thing will be eliminated. You know, most of the time when problems comes, we learn a lot from it. We take the good ideas and we discard the bad ones. If you observe the Nigerian context, all these things you are seeing are the manifestation of the aftermath of the colonization. So some of us who look at the way we have been colonized earlier, we perceive some of these issues, and some of them were being done with the influence of the foreign powers. You see, before Nigeria was given independence in 1960, there was what we call divide and rule by the British before they left the country. So they divided us into regions. The Northern People Congress, even though political parties' approvals were based on regions. As at the 1958, 1959, when the parties were being formed in Nigeria, we don't have a national party. In the north here, they approved the Northern People Congress. So no Westerner, no Easterner will join this party. In the west there, they approved the, I think, district, action district for the Westerners. So no Northerner, no Easterner will join. Then in the east, they approved the NCNC, the Cameroons and Nigerians and Cameroons. So no Northerner, no Westerner will join. So this is how they left us with the divided country, assuming that in some recent years we will be dividing ourselves and killing ourselves. And exactly their plan come to work during the unfortunate, very unfortunate civil war. You will see a Nigerian fighting Nigerian just because of what was planted by those Europeans before they leave. So now we have started getting to understand this is our problem. It is now higher time at this modern era to come together and remove that barrier from our national orientation up to the grassroots level. We at the grassroots level, we are doing our.
All right. I apologize, Mr. Osman. This is where we draw the curtain on that conversation. We hope to have more details on conversation with you in the future. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for joining us, viewers. And this is where we press a pause on that conversation with Comrade Usman Mohammed Anache, the Chairman, Grassroots Advocacy for Peace and Good Governance. Thank you so much for staying with us. And coming up next is our conversations. Thank you so much.
With a population of about 36 million people, the Southeast is awash with stories. Every day on Southeast News, we tell the peculiar story of the Southeast and her people.
Our Southeast should be the Silicon Valley of Nigeria.
Their successes, achievements, and daily challenges. Do you have a Southeast story to share? Community achievements and challenges, completed and uncompleted projects, bad roads, water scarcity, erosion, flooding, insecurity, or even disagreements? Bring it on to Southeast News. On Southeast News, no story is too big or too small. Southeast News. Let's tell our story. Showing on Signature TV